This class speakers who were nominated by popular demand. I'd like to welcome the first one of them, Liz Paratz. Liz is a cardiology registrar in Melbourne and come a long way participating in this program. Liz, welcome.
Ladies, gentlemen, and members of faculty, it's such an enormous privilege and honour to be here today at a Harvard graduation. And it's an added layer of privilege to give a few words on behalf of us all today. In the last week, I've been recalling our statistical beginnings and how much we've learned over the last year. Talking to many people in the course, reassuringly, I think many of us began this relatively statistically ignorant. I do remember early on, our group played a game of what might be called statistics roulette, or maybe statistics truth and dare. Each of us confessed an example that revealed the absolute black hole of our statistical knowledge at that time and our desperate need for some real teaching and research. One of my favourite memories from our statistics roulette was the doctor who confessed that when he had collected a set of data, he then had no idea what tests to do on it. So his solution up to this point had been pretty simple. He did all the tests. He did a t-test, a chi-square, a Mann-Whitney, an ANOVA, a MANOVA. And the way it worked at that point was that whichever test gave him the best p-value, he thought was the one he was meant to use to present his data. So that's where many of us started. And in the words of the Scottish poet Andrew Lang, back then, we used statistics like a drunk man uses a lamppost, for support rather than illumination. So what changed? Well, we took GCSRT. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud to say that those of us here today managed to get through it. What made GCSRT such a great experience? As we've heard, GCSRT is a jewel, and I think it's a multifaceted jewel. Today, I'd like to pay particular tribute to our teams, our families, and of course, our teachers. So firstly, to our teams. From China to Canada to Holland to the Middle East to Melbourne, we've shared so much in our teams over the last year. To be exact, within our group, that's Team 6, in the last year, we've had 49 team meetings, 2,302 WhatsApp messages, 1 engagement, 3 babies, and 1 unplanned dinner with Victoria Beckham. As doctors, we also shared some of our toughest cases. Our meetings and presentation rehearsals were interrupted by gunshot wounds in Canada needing a chest drain, head injuries in China needing burr hole, and cardiac arrests in Australia needing everything. When I consider just our team, that's Team 6, we've shared so much and we've grown so close. So I'd like to violate one of the most sacred laws of statistics and inappropriately extrapolate our small team experience to the entire year level. I can only imagine how many meetings and personal and professional moments we've all shared within our teams to form tight friendships that will form the knot of international collaborations for years to come, hopefully. And I can only imagine how many dinners Victoria Beckham must have been having with our year level. She must be very relieved also that we're graduating today. As part of our teams, we also came to know each other's families. And I can't thank all our families enough for making everything possible. To all our partners, parents and children, what can we say? But sorry and thank you. Sorry we undertook yet more work on top of our busy enough lives. And thank you for understanding, supporting and making lots of coffee. For those families who could make it here for graduation today, thank you for coming and sharing the experience with us. And it's so lovely to meet so many of you finally today. The final, hugely significant independent variable contributing to our success was our teachers. It would take hours and hours to thank you adequately, and RJ is very concerned about us keeping to time today. So in light of that, I'd like to finish up my speech now with this little effort that hopefully summarises our enormous gratitude to the staff and administration of GCSRT. It begins with Morgan Co soundchecks, generally being handy. It begins with 1,000 emails, all patiently answered by Mandy. It begins with us all wondering if we're going to be okay. It began almost exactly a year ago today. Vanessa kick-started the process, beginning with Statter, Session 1. Robert Grant